What's up guys, and welcome back to Gladiatorstribe. And it has been quite a while since our last tutorial, so I thought, why not make another one? And many of you glads have been asking me to do a tutorial on how I hit my backhand. So in today's video, we'll be transforming your weak backhand that you just push back into the court and try to avoid into an aggressive and sexy weapon that you'll be scaring your opponents with every time. Let's get started. Actually, wait, a quick disclaimer before we start. I'm not gonna be doing like a super basic tutorial on how to hit a backhand from zero, how to hold your racket or whatever, no. I'll be giving you tips that actually help me hit a good backhand every time. So let's start with tip number 1. And it is to hit the ball in front of you every time or whenever you can. And I can't stress this enough about the forehand because it's super important there. But in case of the backhand, it's kind of crucial as well. So what's the perfect contact point with the ball with your backhand? So it's pretty much in front of you and on the hip level kind of. And it's okay to be lower, but try to never go above shoulder level, because from here, there's really nothing you can do with the ball because you just don't have enough space. Of course, in case of an approach where you have more margin with the net and you're not scared of missing to the net, you can kind of just smash the ball down and it's okay to do it in that case, but usually try to hit it always on the hip level, maybe a little higher. And of course, hitting it lower is also okay because sometimes we just have those kind of like slices where there's nothing else you can do. You just have to kind of swing it off from like here. But as a rule of thumb, try to always hit in the perfect contact point. Oh, and forgot to mention that it's important to always hit the ball in the same place, because you can be working on your technique and improving it as much as you want, but unless you're hitting the ball consistently at the same spot, you're just not going to be improving because it's going to be a different shot every time. Tip number 2, and it is to make your backswing as simple as possible. Basically, all you have to do with a backswing is rotate your body and move your arms out of the way. That's it, and you can pretty much do it in one simple movement. I don't like to complicate it with like unnecessary loops and stuff because that just kind of wastes your time. So all I do is just boom, one rotation and I'm loaded. That's all I need, and I don't waste my time, so I can be ready for the next shot as soon as possible. And boom, boom, as easy as that. Oh yeah, glads, by the way, don't forget that if there's anything tennis related that you would like to get, like always, the link to get that anything is down in the description below, together with our exclusive discount code. It's gonna save you some cash, and that really helps the channel. Back to the video. So tip number 3, and this one is gonna be the most important one. If there's any tip that I'd like you to take away from this lesson, it's this one. So most people, when talking about the backhand technique, they focus a little too much on the dominant arm, the other arm, the whatever. They end up getting a lot of tips, and when they actually get to hit the ball, they get confused and end up doing everything wrong. So just focus on this one little thing. And it is very simple, but I swear if you try it on your next practice, you're gonna be surprised by how much difference it makes. Your body is what directs the ball and is what gives it power. So what I want you to do is next time you hit the backhand is to exaggerate that rotation of the body. So, but like actually exaggerate it, do it like a little, okay, maybe not that much, but you get the point. For those of you who do still want to complicate their lives a little bit more, here's more tips. And tip number 4 is to forget about your dominant arm. Your dominant arm is the one that is kind of located on the lower portion of the grip, and it's the one that is used to create the power. But as I said, the power is created by your body, and all you have to do for your right arm, in my case, my dominant arm is my right arm, for it to do its job is you just have to kind of relax it and just let it follow your body. And yeah, it's as easy as that, but that's tip number 4. So yes, basically just relax it and let it follow the rotation of your body, almost as if you were hitting a one-handed backhand, just like that. That was a popped ball, or I just popped it, I don't know. Glads, if you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to give it a quick like. Let's see if we can get to like 750 likes. I know that's a pretty big number, but glads, I'm sure you can do it. And yeah, back to the video. Tip number 5. So when it comes to your non-dominant arm, in my case it's my left arm, it's used to create direction, but not as much as your body, because as I said, that's the thing that creates most of the direction, but it's used to create, you know, kind of like micro adjustments, to be by the millimeter of where you want to place the ball. For example, when we're hitting a cross-court rally backhand to backhand, if we do everything right, if we do the right movement, the racket naturally goes in a motion which creates spin and gives the ball that rotation. Now, when we want to switch down the line, for example, we want to do it in a flatter motion, or if we want to go for the winner. And in order for the ball to go in a flatter motion, we need to prevent the racket from doing that kind of like wobbling. And in this case, that's where the left arm comes into play and kind of stops the racket from doing this thing. And that's when we can actually hit the ball flat. So tip number 6, and it involves the wrist. And although the wrist is not really used as much on the baseline ground strokes, it is quite important when it comes to the lower approach short angles and when we want to put the ball over the net when someone does a sneaky drop shot. And there's just one thing you have to do with it. It's basically this movement, nothing special, but there's sort of ways of working on it. And one good way to work on it is when next time you do a warm-up on the half courts, after doing the in the middle warm-up, just do kind of like a backhand to backhand cross-court rallies, trying to open the angle as much as you can, and you'll be surprised by how much your wrist movement will be improved. So yes, moving on to tip number 7. And here I would like to talk about tactics, because in order to make your backhand a weapon, you have to know the right time and the right way to use it. And considering that you're watching this video, your forehand is probably your better shot out of the two. And that means that in a rally, if you're forced to play a backhand, first of all, of course, don't be scared of making it long, because sometimes you don't have that good shot to switch down the line. But as soon as you have the opportunity to do that, to switch down the line, don't be scared, go aggressive, maybe play a little flatter and force them to play back to your forehand, where you can take that dominance back and finish the shot with a sexy winner. Moving on to tip number 8. And it has to do with the return. And for some reason, people are scared to return serves with their backhands, but honestly, that's like the most comfortable scenario that you can have, a fast, flat serve to your backhand, because you have the two arms to hold that shot as fast as it's coming. It doesn't really matter. And all you have to do is just put the racket at the right spot and maybe direct it a little bit. Unlike with the forehand where you have to, do spins and whatever, just boom, don't be scared, and that's it. Okay, I know this tip was kind of weird, but the rest were decent. So, Glads, I really hope that you've enjoyed this episode of Gladiatorstribe. Let me know what you thought about this tutorial, and if you want to see more tutorials on the channel just like this one, down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to not miss any of the future uploads, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.